This is video number 200 for the State Wrestling Championship Review Series. Now, video number 100, we had to rope in a big-time match. It's Jacob Merton beating Jordan Burroughs at Beast of the East. And I was thinking, who's the biggest name I can get for video number 200? And there was only one answer. There's only one person I could have roped in for video number 200 for this historic mark for the channel and for the series. And that's our guest today. Widely considered to be the best Kentucky high school wrestler to ever come through our great Commonwealth. And he has represented us from the national level to international level, and he's been successful at both. So, sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
I'm Kyle Ruschell.
And you are a two-time state champion from Ryle High School, 2,403-pound state champion. That video is on the channel. This is your 2,519-pound state championship review video. And we covered a lot of ground in your 04, how you got into wrestling, all that. We're really not going to do that here, but we are going to kind of work backwards as far as what you're doing now leading up to the match. As we alluded to, and we'll kind of recap it quick here, you are currently the head wrestling coach at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. You took that program over in August of 2019.
Yep.
And we're filming this on September 1st, 2023. And I would say from maybe starting on Monday, or I guess Monday's a holiday, from Tuesday on up probably until March, you're going to be just in the room doing individuals, teams, whatever, until, because I mean, it's a all year grind.
Yep. A lot of different things, whether it's recruiting, fundraising, trying to build a new wrestling room, teaching. I would prefer to be in the wrestling room 90% of the time and the other be 10, but it tends to be the other way around, 90% of paperwork and other stuff and only 10% in the room. But yeah,
I can completely understand that. And, you know, man, when you're the head man of a Division I athletic program, or the team, I should say, I mean, all eyes are on you. And at the end of the day, you know, you're the one signing off, and you're the one, if it's great, you're the man. If not, they're like, oh, that dang on, so I don't know what's, get him out of here. But man, we said it in 04, but we'll say it in this one. Thank you for being here. Thanks for doing this. And I want to reiterate that the review series, as far as going out and meeting with guys like we have doing team sessions, that's not changing. But having the Zoom, that has really opened up the world. The world's a whole lot smaller now. We've been able to do Scott Cooper, LaRue County. We've been able to do Scott Rhodes. We've been able to do Kagan Wallace. You now living, you know, in Chattanooga. That's a pretty good distance from where I live here in Eastern Kentucky. So, I mean, we can hop on, do this, bam, bam, still get the same effect, but we are not changing going out and meeting with the other teams, individual sessions that are in Kentucky. So we mentioned you're the head man at UTC. You were an assistant coach at University of Wisconsin, the Badgers.
Yep.
For, I think it was 8 seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
But after your high school career ended, you went to Wisconsin. You were a 4-year varsity starter, varsity letterman for the Badgers.
Yep.
And I mean, in case you don't know anything about Division I wrestling, I mean, the Big Ten, that's the best wrestling conference in the country. They're the SEC of college football. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're one of the best. And you were a 4-year varsity letterman, varsity starter for at one of the toughest conferences in the country.
Yep.
And I've got you done some research here.
Oh boy.
06-07 season, you make it to the NCAA Division I tournament, and you play second in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, as a freshman, man, that's doing something.
Yeah.
That's doing something.
Yeah. I think I was rounded 12 at the national tournament my redshirt year, or my freshman year. Lost by riding time.
Did you really?
Yeah. So I think, I don't know who I got. Oh, I got actually beat first round by a kid that was an All-American the year before, from Chattanooga.
Oh, no kidding.
I lost my first round my freshman year to a kid from Chattanooga in overtime, and then came all the way through the backside, and then lost to the guy that took third twice that year and the next year at 41. Charles Griffith from Hofstra. Lost to him 3-2. It was 2-2, and then he had riding time by like a minute and 10 seconds. So I just couldn't get out quick enough. And then it's devastating. I actually got a picture. I think this is from my freshman year. And this it kind of reminds me of why I coach. It's a picture of me and Barry Davis in the stands right there.
Oh my.
And he's kind of consoling me a little bit because he knew, hey, you were in the Big Ten finals. And you were that close to being an All-American. And we had that relationship, and he knew how heartbroken I was. As my older brother told me, this is the only tournament I remember that Kyle's never placed at. And or like he didn't place at that tournament. And I was like, holy crap, you're right. But it's a grind, man. I had a good freshman year, but what's interesting about my Big Ten run that year was 2 weeks prior. So how it happens is you wrestle your whole season. I think I lost a close one to UNI early, and then Cliff Keen, I took third, and that was like coming out party. I won a lot of matches by a point, and I got ranked for the first time. And then Big Ten schedule, and you take your lumps, and you win and you lose last weekend of the year. And so it's you have the last weekend of the year, a weekend off, then the conference tournament. And I wrestled, who was it? Minnesota first, and Manny Rivera.
Okay.
And he was ranked number 1 in the country. And then I had Cassio Pero, who was an All-American the year before from Illinois. And I lost Rivera by a close one. I think I was winning until the third period. And he had, before the overtie snap was popular, he was doing it to me, and I had never felt it before. And he wore my butt out with it. I got so dog tired. I was like, he just keeps snapping my head down, and I can't get my hands on him and all that type of stuff. Yeah. And then, so he beat me by like 1 or 2. It's like, oh, I'm pretty good. And then I wrestled Cassio Pero, and he beat me by 13.
Oh my.
Like, what in the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And again, I think that Sunday night, so that was a Friday, Sunday, Barry comes over to my house. He picks me up, and we go. I think we had like an icy or something like that. Obviously I had to wait. My weight needed to be under control, but we had 2 weeks. So he's like, hey, we need to get your mind off it a little bit. And then seeds come out. I'm the 5 seed. The 4 seed is Cassio Pero. And if I win, I get Manny Rivera.
Oh.
So the next 2 matches after losing that weekend, I beat Pero by 1, and I think I beat Rivera by like 2 or something like that to make the. And so to make that quick of a turnaround and the adjustments is what makes I talk about it a lot in our program, is you have to make it mid-match adjustments, but also match to match. And so it was kind of really, really weird how things panned out at the Big Ten tournament that I had those 2 guys the first 2 rounds.
Hey man, sometimes, man, like you said in the first video, you get knocked down 100 times, get up 101 times. And I mean, you got up, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly right.
So you go on 07, 08. I read on the Wisconsin website, you were listed as a team tri-captain that year. And you also make it back to the NCAA Division I tournament. So back-to-back years, man, you're in the big dance, you're in the big show.
Yeah, I would say that's probably my most disappointing year. I was, that one hurt. My freshman year was kind of the experience of it. You're that close, and so you have higher expectations your sophomore year. And I had a really, really good year. I think I was a 2 seed at the Big Ten tournament that year. And I got banged up against Manny Rivera. I tried to hit an inside trip, and I had a partial torn MCL.
Okay.
And so I think I took 5th or 6th. I lost. So first round of Big Tens, I wrestled a kid from Michigan State. I'm winning by 8. He hit me with it. I was on bottom. I'm getting out. He pulls front head, hits me in a cement mixer, and pins me. And back then it was, they don't have the same criteria as they have this year, or as they have now. This was the last year of only the top 7 wrestlers out of the Big Ten at each weight class went. So lose the first round, it's like, you lose again, you're out. You're not going to the national tournament. There was no wild card. There's 2 wild cards, but the teams all had to vote for it. So we'd be in there for hours saying the coaches would fight over who deserves to go.
Yeah.
And so me and Trevor Bramvold, he was my roommate all through college, and our 97-pounder, 84-pounder at the time. He coaches at Minnesota now.
Oh, okay.
He lost to, I think, a Minnesota wrestler the first round. Really close match. And we're sitting in the hotel room like, are we not going to make the national tournament?
Yeah.
And so we both win our next 2 matches. I think he might have taken 4th, and then I defaulted to 6th because of my knee. And then I think Jaggers or Kellen Russell won that Big Ten. And then what was it? The national tournament comes around. I'm wrestling one of my coaches, and we're not wrestling hard. We're just kind of getting weight off like we always do. He collar ties me, and I just hit the mat. I had this terrible neck spasm along with my knee, and I just couldn't move. And I looked at the podium after that national tournament. I think I went 1-2 or 2-2, something. I just didn't have it. And so being healthy is 50% of it sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
I looked at the podium and I saw 6 of the 8 All-Americans I had beat, including Jeff Jaggers, who won it that year. And I'm like, what's going on? What's the matter? And I took that whole next summer. I went right into wrestling. I took a week off to heal up, and I wrestled in the U.S. Open, the senior level. I hadn't really wrestled too much freestyle, just a little bit here and there. And I beat guys like Lance Palmer, Josh Torella, guys like that. And I was like, okay, I belong here. I know that. And I decided to go up to 49 that next year because of that. And it probably was one of the best decisions I made.
I was going to say, I think it worked out for you pretty good.
Yeah,
The move up. So the 08-09 season, the Wisconsin website has you listed as a team co-captain. You're a junior, and you take 3rd place at 149 pounds, which is the highest that a graduating Kentucky wrestler has ever placed.
Yeah.
Which is impressive. I mean, it truly is.
Yeah. It's one of those things as a coach now, it means way more, and you realize how hard it is. Coaching guys like my brother and other guys on this team now, it's like, how can't you, like when I was in college, it's like, how can't you make the national tournament? And then as a coach, it's like, how do you get guys qualified for the national tournament? Yeah. And so it's, again, like I think I said it in the last video, smell the roses, enjoy it a little bit, because you don't get those moments all the time. And you, like you said, less and less as time goes on. But it was a big deal to be a Kentucky boy, to qualify, 4 times and to place 3rd in the country. Like it doesn't happen. And it's not supposed to happen. And so I love being the guy that, tells them it can be.
Before we go any farther, we're going to play a game of how good is Kyle's wrestling knowledge about Kentucky. Yeah. I have the answer. So we're going to put him to the test here. Kyle, can you name, besides yourself, the other Kentucky NCAA Division I All-Americans?
I used to know it. I used to know them all, but I know Coach Dave Barnes. He was mine.
Dave Barnes, exactly. Simon Kenton.
And he was 92 at 150 or 157, maybe
150, 8th place at 150. Yes, that's correct.
Miami of Ohio, and then
yes, that's exactly right. That video is on the channel, by the way.
Is it really?
Yep.
Wow, awesome. I need to watch that because I remember him just kicking my butt when he first got to Ryle. But what's cool is when I All-Americaned my junior year, he had a sweatshirt from his All-American year from the national tournament, and he gave it to me.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's like kind of passing to the guard a little bit.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
So it was really special. And then the last name Black, I can never remember his first name. Dominic. Well, there's 2, Kevin and Tony Black wrestled at Wisconsin that were All-Americans.
Okay.
And so I get those mixed up. But Dominic Black, was he West Virginia?
Yes, West Virginia. He got 4th place 1991, 177 pounds.
Yep.
And
And then the other one, that one can't say.
Dominic's videos on the channel as well. So once you watch both of Kyle's, go back and watch Dave's and go watch Dominic's, because that's a great to have all four of those guys, well, I guess your two, Dave and Dominic's, on the channel is just great for the wrestling in Kentucky as a whole. Just everybody can see just what can come out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Dominic wrestled at Henry Clay High School, by the way, 1987 state champion.
Let me interrupt you there for a second. Is Garrett Headley, longtime Henry Clay coach. He's the one that told Barry Davis about me to recruit me.
I got you.
And so I owe a lot to Garrett Headley, and I'm super thankful for that guy.
And I think you wrestled Garrison, his son, a couple of times, didn't you?
Yeah, I think
that's what I thought. I was doing research, and I thought I seen that you wrestled him a few times.
It might have been the state tournament our senior year.
Okay, is that what it was? Yeah, I've got the list here. And then there's David Grant from Tate's Creek, wrestled at University of Northern Iowa. He placed 8th in 1984 at 158 pounds.
Oh wow!
So
yeah, that's the one I always forget.
I wouldn't have known that if Barnes hadn't have told me. I knew Dominic, you, and Dave, but I did not know Dave Grant. We do claim Mark Hall and David Carr from Ryle and Woodford County, respectfully. But I think there's a little something special about you four guys that born in Kentucky, went all the way through high school in Kentucky, competed at the state tournament all 4 years of high school. I think there's a lot to be said for that, and not just being here for 1 year. And we know situations take people in different directions in life, so we're not going to minimize what David and Mark done later after they left Kentucky. But like I said, there's something special about being able to say, I'm a Kentucky all the way through and through. I mean, I got KFC in my veins and bluegrass in my front yard. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, I know Marky really, really well. My dad coached him, but he's like another family member. Him and I always talk whenever we're on the road, and I got the pleasure to recruit him a little bit, but he obviously chose Penn State over Wisconsin. And it's just, he's a really, really good person. And so we'll take him, but only with a bit of an asterisk. I always with him, and I say, obviously it's harder to win a state tournament in Kentucky than it is Minnesota, since you won 6 of them there.
Yeah.
And so, I always give him credit.
That's a great argument. And like we said, you're in 08 and 09, 3rd place NCAA, the highest currently. You are the highest Kentucky graduating wrestler at the Division I national championship. But also in 2010, the 09-2010 season, NCAA Division I 4th place, 149 pounds, also listed as a team co-captain. So back-to-back years, 149 pounds, All-American. I mean, that's a heck of a collegiate career.
Yeah. Going back to 09. I took 5th at Big Tens and 3rd at the national tournament.
Oh my, yes. Well,
yeah.
Man, the Big Ten's a meat grinder, man. It really is.
Yeah. What was it? I think first round of Big Tens, I had a kid from Purdue, Jake Pataxel, really good on top. Just really good on top. Sticky. You'd hold your hand until he'd choose top. Had him first round, beat him. And then I had Metcalf, lost to Metcalf in the semis. Dropped down. Lance Palmer from Ohio State lost first round. So he was on my side, backside, lost to him by 1, which put me for 5th and 6th. And my 09 season, it was Metcalf took 2nd to Caldwell, Darian Caldwell, that big old match that everybody knows. The back Metcalf pushed him. I took 3rd. Palmer took 4th. That Purdue kid took 5th. And so that's how jam-packed the Big Ten was. That's and don't forget about Bubba Jenkins was in the tournament too. Bubba Jenkins was really? second at the Big Ten, but then didn't place the national tournament. So it was a good little Big Ten bracket. So it was good.
They might as well give the de facto national championship to the Big Ten. That's how tough it was. So, but like I said, the 2009-2010 season, 4th place, 149 pounds. And you went on, competed in several, I guess, like nationals, worlds, open tournaments, across the country. But the one that I want to bring up is you always got to be ready. You never know when life is going to, you never know when Uncle Sam's going to pick up the phone and say, Kyle, we need you, man. Captain America here. We need you to compete for us. 2017, you were coaching at Wisconsin. You get a phone call. Hey, we need you to represent the United States at the Pan Am Games.
Yep.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not only did you represent the 74 kilograms, for those of us that bad at math, I've done the conversion, about 163 pounds, give or take. You win the Pan Am Games. You clean the bracket out. You clean your competition out. And, the old saying, don't mess with the U.S. Don't mess with 163-pound Kyle Ruschell. You know what I'm saying? And I was, going over the bracket here. And if I butcher these names, forgive me.
I couldn't tell you.
The first round, you're wrestling a guy from Purdue, Ambrosi Grifo, I believe. Is
from Puerto Rico.
Okay. Yeah,
Puerto
Rico.
Right? Puerto Rico, yeah.
And you win that by a 10-0 tech fall. And this is freestyle, by the way. This is not like collegiate or high school. This is freestyle wrestling. You first round hadn't been on the mat competitively for a while. You are on a plane. I think you said it was 3 days later. You were flying to, where was the tournament at?
It was in Brazil.
Brazil. So you go down there, you tell the Gracies what's up, right?
Yeah, that's right. You high-fived them to the tournament.
Exactly. So your first match, tech fall 10-0. Second round, you're wrestling Pedro Soto Cordero from Peru. You win that also by 10-0 tech fall. So 2 matches, 2 tech falls. There's some I'm kind of going over the tech falls first because it'll come into play a little bit later in the video. So 2 matches, 2 tech falls. You get to the finals, you're wrestling Nestor Tefor from Colombia.
Yeah,
you win that by. Go ahead.
He wrestled collegiately.
Oh, did he?
Boston. I think might have been an All-American at Boston University when they had a program. And then later on, he actually would wrestle like practice and stuff at Columbia University, but he's from Columbia too. I knew a little bit about the tournament.
And you also win that one by an 11-0 tech fall. So, man, you never know when the USA is going to need you, and you were able to pick up the mantle, put on the red, white, and blue, and say, bring it on, right?
Yeah. So the funny story about all this is I kind of just go through it a little bit. So in 2014, I made the national team for 70 kilos. And I think it was in 15 or maybe that summer, they were doing a pre-Olympic games down in Rio. And I got selected to go down there for the 70 to represent USA for the 70 kilo weight class. And so I needed a visa for that to go down there, wrestle in the tournament. And then that next winter, I had a neck injury. I needed to get a neck fusion done. And I pretty much thought, okay, I'm probably going to be done competing after that, because I had a knee reconstructed in 2011 tore that up while I was out in Russia. But I was like, I'm probably going to be done. My coaching is what I'm more passionate about now, blah, blah, blah. They didn't really have these RTC programs either. So I was out in Las Vegas for the US Open, and I was just coaching. And USA Wrestling came up to me and they're like, hey, is your passport still good? I was like, my passport's still good, but I don't know about the visa. And like, we got you a 10-year visa when we got you your visa last time. And it was like, then yeah, I can check when I get home. But they're like, well, we might need you to represent us. We don't need you to compete, just make weight. And I'm like, well, if I'm going, I'm not going there just to weigh in and have a vacation. I'll wrestle in it. And they're like, you don't need to, but okay. And how that goes is you need somebody to represent each weight class basically at your continental championships.
Okay.
To get, so I think, what is there? There's 10 weight classes. So to get all 10 weight classes to be able to be represented at the world championships that year, you need all 10 guys to be represented at the continental game or continental championships. And so they needed somebody to weigh in because somebody either got hurt, their visa didn't get accepted, something. They're like, we just need you to weigh in. And so went down there, or went back to Madison, and I'm sitting there, and after a day or two, I'm like, am I going? Am I not? So they finally call me and they're like, yeah, can you go? I was like, yeah. Can you make weight? I was like, yeah, I'm a 70 kilo guy. And get on a plane maybe 2-3 days later and fly down there. It was fun because 74 kilos wasn't a big cut. I think I was sitting by the pool, reading a book when they said, Rochelle, what's the weigh-ins? I'm like, oh, cool. This is way better than when I needed to cut weight in. And then, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got to be on the same team as one of my athletes, Tyler Graff, national finalist from Colorado, world team member years later. And we competed together. He got the golden shoe, which is the MOW of the tournament. And I was like,
that's cool.
And you got to give me that thing. But I think he teched everybody by like 12 or 13. It was like he just mollywopped everybody. But it was awesome. It was a great experience. Representing the United States. I mean, I think wrestling is very, very unique when it comes to, we take such pride when we put on the red, white, and blue. And I don't know if everybody does that, but I know wrestlers do. And it means something a little bit extra. And so just to do that was cool. But the even cooler piece was we won the world championships that year. And if I wouldn't have weighed in, they would have had one less guy and they might not have. And so I kind of like helped in my own way, in my mind.
Bro,
at least.
I mean, that you sometimes in life, the biggest thing is just showing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. Let's go. Bring it. Whatever you got, bring it at me. So Pan Am Games champion, world team champion. I mean, that's an amazing career. I mean, it really is. And to do it on such short notice, especially with the Pan Am Games, I mean, you never know. I mean, you could be some of you guys that we've already done videos with, you may have graduated in the 90s. They may need have an older or over 40 world championships. You may get called up. You just never know. I mean, they may be looking at some of you guys saying, hey, we could put together a Kentucky over 40 team and really go out and go to Brazil, go to Russia, go some of these countries and just clean them out.
That's right. Yeah, the best ability is availability. I tell my guys that. So if somebody goes down,
I'm going to use that.
If somebody goes down and you're the next guy in there, you better have your weight under control. You better be ready to do it. And I'll take one from Tom Brady. I think it might have heard that from Tom Brady, but he also said, you get that opportunity, don't screw it up. And so we tell our guys that all the time. So you gotta always be ready.
Brother, that's a great, I'm going to use that. The best ability is availability. I like that. But let's talk about your 05 state championship run, because you're coming in as a senior. You are the defending state champion. You clean the weight class out at 103, and you've got to have an encore performance. You know what I'm saying? You can't leave you can't leave Frankfurt without a state championship.
Yep.
First round, you're wrestling Donald Phillips from Pleasure Ridge Park out of Louisville. You win that by a fall in 42 seconds. The second round, you're wrestling Cassidy Weech out of John Harden. You win that by a fall in 1:20 seconds. Quarterfinals, you're wrestling Eric Bryant from McCreary Central, and you get one of those tech falls again. You win that by a score of 20-4. Okay, now keep that tech fall in mind here, guys. Semifinals, you're wrestling Zach Peters from Louisville Trinity. You win that by a tech fall, 21-5. And in the finals, you're wrestling Stacy Miller from LaRue County. We're not going to tell you how it ends, but you can probably, like in the 04 video, kind of guess what happens. So you're a senior. The last time you're ever going to wear the Ryle singlet, the Ryle warm-up, compete as a Raider in this capacity. What's going through your head as you are backstage, back behind like where the score table was in that warm-up area? What's going through your head, man?
I mean, I had been there twice before. One I lost, one I didn't. One I won, and I don't know. It just, again, I think just similar to the 04 one is like what my dad always kind of says. Well, you're supposed to do this. It's not that big of a deal. Like if you have the goals that you have, I think in 7th grade, I wrote down my goals. I started in 6th, wrote my goals for basically all of my wrestling career on a sheet, and it's still up on my parents' refrigerator to this day. And it
Wow.
was bigger, and it's bigger than being a state champ. Now, did I accomplish all of them? No, I think I had 4-time state champ down, but
Yeah.
it pushed me. I wanted to be a Division I national champ. I wanted to be a Division I college coach. I wanted to be an Olympic champ. You don't always get them, but at least you're striving for it. So, not letting the moment get too big, but also realizing where you're at.
Hmm.
It's kind of what was going probably through my mind. I think I was a guy that listened to music quite often. And I would try and listen to music that would more relax me than hype me up, because then it would be too sporadic. I hate saying this, but I listened to Michael Jackson back in the day,
Hey,
and that would calm me down, and keep me kind of mellow. And then, so yeah, I think that's kind of what was going through my head. But going through that bracket, from what I remember, that quarter that I was in,
mhm,
I think we had like 4 of the top 6 ranked guys in the state in
I
that little
believe that.
bracket. Quarters finals. Bryant,
Eric Bryant, McCree,
I think
McCree
he
Central.
was 2nd or 3rd in the state ranked
Yeah.
wise. And Peters, I think he was up in there too. So
Mhm.
like in that quarters, I knew that was going to be tough. And so obviously I knew I had to just be ready each round. And yeah, I mean, you wrestle hard, good things happen.
And with that, we're going to get our video pulled up here. You guys are seeing what we're seeing. We're back at the dungeon. Now, of course, you are at 119 pounds this year, but everybody in the building knows who you are. There's no hiding you. So let's go ahead, jump right into it. 2005, let's go.
At the 119-pound weight class from Ryle, a senior with a record of 59-2, ranked #1 in the state, Kyle Ruschell. From LaRue County, a junior with a record of 47-6, ranked #4 in the state, Stacy Miller.
So I told you, so right here, I don't have black hair. So I think my freshman and sophomore year, we shaved our heads. And then
Mhm.
by my senior year, we dyed our hair black because Woodford County dyed theirs blonde.
I got you.
Yeah, so we did that because of Woodford County.
And right
Yeah,
out of the gate, you get a takedown within 10 seconds. You cut him.
yep. I don't know if I had wrestled him prior to this match.
And you answered my next question. So you get another takedown. I think you've got, is that Catan again? Back to
Uh,
back years, Joe calling
no,
the,
that's not him.
that's not Catan.
No, I don't think so. They're zooming
We're
in
out of
on him.
bounds.
No, that's not him.
Now on top, oh, you're going to optional start here.
Yep. Caution, bottom man.
Caution on the bottom, man. Wait on the whistle. Wait on the whistle.
Hey, you got 2 to give before it's a point, so you might as well.
Exactly. Oh, now
That
you.
one's on me. That's right. Let him know I'm there, man.
Yep, try it. Let them know, baby. This is what's coming. So you cut him again. And this was before you could just look at the ref and give the one and let him up. So
Right.
in case you're wondering on that rule change, there it is. Nice little slide by. You get another takedown.
Yeah, that was actually really that. I didn't get the attack with that single, came up and had that elbow, and I just shucked it on. Like that wasn't too bad. I thought I was way worse than this, to tell you the truth. Because when you go and get it first time getting into a college wrestling room, I think I got taken down in a matter of 5 seconds and got slapped across the face for a finish. So it's crazy to look back now.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that you look effortless out here. Not that you're not giving your best. It's just like you're so fluid at what you're doing.
Yeah, I think it's
what
one
you're
of
good
those.
at.
I think it's one of those things. I had confidence, obviously. I wasn't smooth, right? I think you can kind of see that it wasn't like I'm not the slickest wrestler, but I wrestled hard, right? And so some things look a little bit more slick than they are, but it's just a matter of going and getting to my feet and being offensive, and things open up more when you're active and you're creating pressure. And it took me until I'm a college coach now to realize what pressure really means. It's not just pushing, it's
Mm-hmm.
pulling, it's moving the guy, it's getting weight on his feet, it's all of your presence, like right here in his face the whole time. Guys crumble in those moments. And so, not saying that this kid did that, I'm just saying that that's how things open up.
Yeah. And he deferred, you took down. I can't imagine he hold it. So you get your cut, get one there. And ooh, that was slick.
That was all right. I'll give myself a little bit of credit.
That was
Maybe I
nice.
was slicker than I thought it was.
And I'm at this state tournament. If you're looking at the screen here, I'm sitting to the right of the score table and kind of up and like at an angle.
Is that right behind Ryle's crowd then? I think our crowd was typically over in that.
I don't remember, man. It's been. So there you are trying to get a count.
And like I said last video, legs were my thing. I mean, I got Cody in that guillotine, right? Here I'm a little high, but I always made my legs are all the way across, but legs were and still are a very big piece of my top game. And it's like four hands. If you know how to use your legs, it's like riding with four hands. And so
that's exactly right.
It's devastating sometimes.
You push him away, give him his one. And while we're kind of in a lull here, was your goal to just like tech fall all the way through, or just whatever come, or?
Yeah, I would say more of that, the latter.
There it is. So you get another.
It was. I don't know why I didn't go for a pin there, or at least go for it more. But I never. And my dad, again, my dad always don't mess around out there. And so no, I don't think a tech fall is what I was ever looking for. Just taking what the guys give me, kind of protecting myself. If I felt like I was getting too high, I'd probably give stuff up. So like right here, I'm looking for the pin, and
yeah,
I don't know how that's not a pin, but so yeah, I don't typically look to tech kids. I'm not looking to embarrass people. It's more just wrestle hard and see what comes.
Period ends. You get your three. I think you're up now 16-4. So just a few points. Take neutral.
So my high school coach, Rick Barker, and I mentioned him in the last one too. He called me the gnat because it's like you never try and hit a gnat. You're constantly missing, and it's always right there in your face. That's what he called me. And now I understand why a little bit more seeing these videos, but you just constantly on him.
Yeah.
And then there's TJ. So there's my dad is the left, Rick's on the right, and then TJ, my little brother, is the one in between the two. And he ends up being the last 119-pound state champ before they changed the weight classes.
Yep. And there you go, man. You get your second state championship with a tech fall. And we'll talk a little bit about TJ here a little bit towards the end of the video. Dominating performance, man, just straight. I mean, you were the best. There was no question. And as like the second or the first video in 04, we've got the medal ceremony. That's Drew Trimble getting his medal from Johnson Central.
Yep. Yeah, that's Peters, I think, on 6, Brian on 5.
Yeah.
And then who's that kid that took 3rd?
I don't have it in front. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. I didn't write it down.
I don't know if he was from Oldham, but
is that Ben Warner?
That might be Ben Warner. We never matched up.
I think that's Ben. And then there you are on top.
did he transfer in, right?
Yes, he come from
another
Michigan.
state? Yep, that's who that was.
Okay.
He was good.
Yeah,
He
being
never
he's a
messed up.
07 state champion. He has a club now in Oldham County that he runs.
Oh, nice.
So
Man, that jet black hair was something else. Oh,
and,
man.
and
That's what I showed up at as when I went on my recruiting visit. It wasn't until after this. And so I showed up in Madison, Ann Arbor, Bloomington, Indiana with jet black hair and gold braces. It was a terrible look. I don't know.
terrible.
What
I love it, man. And here this is the most outstanding trophy presentation. You become the first Ryle wrestler to win the most outstanding with that beautiful jet black hair.
Yeah, look, gold braces.
Yeah. You in 05, Michael Osborne in 2010, Noah Duke in 21, and of course Cole Thomas in 22. Somebody must have said something to you right there. And also, Ryle has 4 team state runner-up trophies. 05, you guys tied of all things with LaRue County. So every little tenth of a point matters, wrestlers. Every half a point matters. How you win, your advancement, all that matters. So you guys come in team state runner-up here.
Yep, there's Dave Barnes. Barnes, Rick Barker, Larry Mickelson, all those guys. I mean, they along with my dad, they made a big difference for our program early. So yeah, it's kind of
everybody's got looks like jet black hair.
Folks, look at that guy, Tim Ruschell, looking young and handsome.
05, second place as a team. 08, second place as a team. 2010, second place as a team, and then 21, second place as a team as well. So
so that team right there too. Holy smokes! Looking at all those guys. Brian Peace is down there.
Yeah,
he's a 3-timer, and what is his name? Mason. Oh my gosh, those guys! Yeah, that was a pretty good team back then. And that's my older brother right there in the white hat. He's the one that kind of spurred it all.
Okay.
That was my older brother was the one in the white hat.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should have known that. And speaking of Jordan Blackmore, we're going to be doing a Zoom video with him as well. He lives pretty good distance away from Union, and we're going to be doing a Zoom with him. He was Ryle's first state champion.
So I talk about the old school gym, championship, St. X coming in, and you'd hear him down in the hallway coming up, and it was Blackmore's state championship match that I was like, whoa, I want to do that. I want to wrestle against guys like that. I want to be like Jordan, and I haven't seen him maybe since he graduated high school.
And Jordan actually wrestled 4-timer Isaac Knable in 2000. And that video is on the channel. We've met with Isaac and done all 4 of his. So that's another Big Ten alumnus. Isaac went to Indiana and wrestled. But Jordan, we're going to be meeting with him. We're actually working with Darren and I believe your dad to get some of the local guys to do a session at Ryle. The guys that live in the area still. Yeah. So we're going to be doing a bunch of the Ryle guys. But man, watching it back, watching this video back, you're a senior. Does it? Like I asked you in the first one, does it play out the way you remember it?
That one a little bit. I remember I was just kind of all over him. I knew I didn't pen him. I think that one was pretty. I didn't know how many shots I missed, and then had secondary shots.
Yeah.
But that's just the coach in me and the critique in me. I kind of hate watching myself. I rather watch other guys all day long. But the things that I preach to my guys, I think I was doing then. So I need to recruit guys that, stay on the offense. You can always fix the X's and O's, but the guys that, work hard and treat people right, those are the guys that we're looking for. And so I think that that kid that you just watched was somebody I would definitely recruit now.
A prototypical UTC Mox wrestler, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
So man, again, I can't say thank you enough for joining us doing your 04 and 05 videos. And TJ, you're next up, big man. We got to have you on the channel. I've got your state championship video as well, so we can't have one Ruschell without the other. So we'll be reaching out to you and getting you on the channel because we got to have you. We We just can't leave you be, man. We got to get you. So is there anything that you have you'd like to say, anything, to wrap this one up, put a bow on it, and, let the world see just how good you really were?
Yeah, no, more just thanks. Like just seeing all these matches, it brings a lot of memories back. Seeing the old videos of the team, right?
Yeah.
That's the moments that I probably liked more than anything is, hanging out with the guys on the team, having that camaraderie, the long road trips when it came to summer training, my dad making stupid nicknames for my opponents that wanted to beat me or whatever it was, to hang the carrot in front of me to keep me working harder. Those are the things I remember, and for you to have these and share them with me is awesome. Super grateful. So thanks. Keep doing what you're doing. And the only thing I had to say is Kentucky's in my heart, man. So we need more. We need to do more, and doing stuff like this is super important. And so I always cheer for my Kentucky boys. I got the bluegrass in my heart.
Absolutely.
Even though I probably haven't lived in the state. I'm getting close to about 50% of my life now. 18 years in Kentucky and close to 18 now out of the state. But I know where home is, and so I bleed with the bluegrass. So I keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, man, and two things before I go, and we'll wrap this one up, is I was sitting here formulating when I talked about doing Jacob Merton's video for Beast of the East, I don't have the date in front of me, but it was last year. I think it was the first football Saturday. We drove down to GRC High School in Winchester because he was hosting a camp, and I done his Beast of the East there. And that was video 100. So almost to the day, a year later, we've done 100 more in that time span, and it's been phenomenal. Like I said, I had to come up with a absolute main event star, Hulk Hogan, if you will, or Steve Austin, The Rock of Kentucky high school wrestling, everybody knows, and the have it on here, man. Get video number 200, and here's to if I had on, I tip it. Here's to video number 300, video number 400, because there's only 784 state champions in Kentucky, and my goal is to get every single one that I possibly can represented on the channel. And I'm not going to stop. We're not going to stop the series until it's done. And when we do get 784, we'll go back and we'll do something else. We're not going to stop doing this because you guys enjoy it. I like doing it, and the state needs this. It needs the information out there for so long, and I've said it in other videos, just about every single one. You walk, like Ryle has that section of their gym where it's got the photos of all the state champions. You look at, like, on the walls, you go into a gym, you may see like a photo, pull up the KHSAA website, and it's got 2,519 pound state champion Kyle Ruschell from Ryle High School. That does not tell the story. It doesn't tell how good you were. It doesn't tell how good somebody like Michael Osborne was, seeing his name, seeing the photo. Yeah, the photos are great. They're a great representation, but this is what's been needed for a very long time. And I'm glad to be the torchbearer, the flag bearer, whatever analogy you want to use, to put Kentucky on my back and say, come at us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's just special. And there's been some guys that they know how to wrestle from the state of Kentucky. And there's some guys out there that's either coming up, or guys out there in college right now that have a chance if they keep their head down, they work hard, and just stay in that fight. They'll be the next All-American. And
you led me perfectly into the closing. You travel around, you're a coach, you recruit at a division. I mean, I don't think that can be made any bigger. You recruit and you're head coach of a Division I wrestling program. So you see the best of the best, you offer the best of the best. The Kentucky across the board, we're one state champion individual, we're not class, we're not public private split, we're not anything like that. If you win it, you're the best.
Right.
Do you get to come to Kentucky often? You get to see like any Kentucky kids? Because what I'm trying to get to is Kentucky's wrestling at the top level, I think, is as good as anybody in the country. Maybe not the depth wise, maybe not every single school can compete against some of the best, but when we get to your top three, those top three are in Kentucky. They could go anywhere and wrestle and compete.
Yeah. Yeah, I get back. I see it not as much as I wish I could, because the state tournaments, there's a lot all on the same time. So we're like, who knows where I'm at the third weekend or second weekend of
Yeah.
February.
I think it's the third weekend of February.
Yeah, so I mean, we not only that, it's the middle of our dual meet season,
Right.
and so we have to schedule around quite a bit of that. But I'm watching. I watch the finals. We know who most of those kids are. Yeah, you're right. Like, we're not going to be as deep. We have less than or right around 100 teams with wrestling.
I think not. I think we're at like 117 teams now that
Are
are
we-
active in the state.
Good.
So yeah, yep.
I think it was less than 100 when I was in school. So that shows
You're
growth.
probably right.
And that's a great thing. And so yeah, we're not going to have 15 in each weight that can do it. We're going to have 1 to 2 that can be, quality Division I wrestlers. But at the same time, I was told by several people from the state that you're going to Division I, Big Ten, you're going to go there to die, or you bit off more than you can chew. And I just use that as motivation. Nobody. I walked in. There's guys on my team that tell me to this day, you stunk. You were terrible when you walked in our wrestling room. I thought I was a dog, right? I took third at senior nationals. I 2-time state champ. All this stuff. It's just a rude awakening, and it's an experience for the guys that have short-term memories, that know why they're there. With the high goals, and then that use the negative for a positive. So, guys telling me, oh, I'm not ready yet, I'm not good enough for the Big Ten, all that type of stuff. I just use that as motivation. Now, I didn't hang on it and be like, oh, that's the only thing I used, but I wasn't supposed to be there. And I think it's more on the kid than it is actually them being the state champion. That has nothing to do with it. It's the kids that, don't quit, get back. There is a bucket worth of tears in Camp Randall's football stadium, because that's where our wrestling room is, from me and being so frustrated from my redshirt year all the way through my senior year at college, of just being frustrated all the time, thinking, oh, who do you think you are? You're going to be an All-American, or you think you're going to be a national champ? But I came in the next day and I was ready to go, and I flipped a script. I made it into a positive. I tried to have a short-term memory. So anybody can do it. It's just a matter of, do you have the willpower and, the way to stick it out through thick and thin.
Brother, I can't think of a better way to end the video. So, man, thank you for being here doing both videos. Greatly appreciate it. I knew, like I said, video number 200 had to be a grand slam, a hole-in-one on a par 5. It had to be a massive video, and you more than delivered. So we know a lot of people are going to be watching this just because the stories about Kyle Ruschell are like Paul Bunyan. They keep getting bigger and bigger. And man, Kyle Ruschell beat 7 guys at once. I mean, he all this stuff you hear.
They must have been babies if that's
yeah. Went down to the elementary school and picked 7 kids out. No, I'm kidding. Man, again, I can't thank you enough, bro. I think we reached a great ending point. So here's to video number 300. Here's video number 400. We're gonna keep rolling. I'm glad that Kyle was able to join us to do both of his. But man, that's all that I have. Thank you again for being here, and we'll see you guys on the mats.